Find out how Josh Heyliger saved the day for the Skyhawks and lots more. Folks, don't go anywhere. This is Skyhawk Update.
We're tied at 56 inside the Mercury Gymnasium. Hammer drives to his right and gets shut off. He passes it out to San Marco, under 10. He's dribbling at midcourt. He's going to get a pick from Jack Cole. Solano works around it. Marco puts up the three ball, no good. Jack Cole with a tip in to Heyliger. Josh Heyliger tips it in, and Stonehill wins. Stonehill wins 58-56.
Hello Skyhawk Nation and welcome to Stonehill College Sports Network for our 17th episode of Skyhawk Update. I'm your host Craig Riotto, and I would first like to quickly apologize for our late appearance this week, which I'm sure you can guess had something to do with a blizzard named after a certain fish. But we are finally back up and running, as are the athletics teams here on campus, so without further ado, let's get to the headlines. Men's and women's basketball combined for a pair of losses this week, but also a pair of wins. We rewind the clock back to Wednesday, February 6th, when the Skyhawks road trip to Franklin Pierce University for a clash against the Ravens. For the women, it was not a productive trip, though Stonehill romped Franklin Pierce by 23 points at home back in November. It was a different story in Rindge, New Hampshire, as the Ravens repay the Skyhawks with a big-time win. The Ravens had a 15-point lead at halftime, and they didn't let up one bit. They buried the Skyhawks 72-50 was the final. It's one of Stonehill's worst shooting days of the year. They go 34% from the floor. Tori Faeta effectively neutralized, only 5 points on 2 of 10 from the field. She usually averages 12 plus. The Skyhawks were -9 on the rebounding margin, and they turned the ball over 19 times. On a positive note, however, ML Dixon goes for 16 points, 5 assists, and only 2 turnovers. Great game for the junior. But the women would get a shot at redemption versus Merrimack College on Sunday in a rescheduled contest. It was the Play for K day as they were trying to raise awareness and fundraise for breast cancer research. The women had their work cut out for them in this basketball game as the Warriors came out with a first quarter surge. They scored the first 7 points as a three-pointer by Ganser, and then Tia Scott with the drive and finish, and that's Melissa Miller with the baseline layup. Stonehill would reassert themselves. Merrimack had no answer for Tori Faeta inside. She goes for 17 points. And this is why they're so tough to beat. They can beat you from inside out. ML Dixon with a quick trigger on the three ball. And this is what wins ball games for your team and gets you to 18-3. Hustling after the play. Pelletier with the bucket. And hustle wins games. Merrimack not going quietly though. That's Miller from downtown. Again, the Skyhawks were relentless though. Paige Marshall, Ashley Gendron scrapping for the rebound. Hits Asia Ewing. She's all alone and she realizes, I'm just going to stick that three-pointer. Stonehill would continue to roll on. They get the win 67-55 at home. A great win for the Skyhawks coming off their loss to Franklin Pierce. Men's basketball is running out of time if it wants to see its season extended in the month of March. Though they were making strides, having won 3 of its last 4 games heading into the Wednesday contest at Franklin Pierce, the men were dismantled by Franklin Pierce. It was not a friendly trip for them either. They lost to Franklin Pierce by 10 back in Easton in November, and this time they get trounced 73-53, 20-point deficit. Despite trailing by only 1 point at halftime, Franklin Pierce shoots the lights out at home, going 56.5% from the floor, 50% from beyond the arc. Jack Cole goes for 11 points, 8 rebounds. San Marco also with 10 points and no turnovers. A couple of good games for them, but Stonehill, unfortunately, unable to get the Ravens in both of their games this season. But the men would have a shot at redemption as well against Merrimack College. Sam Markle dribble penetration, kicks it out to Fazzini, and he knocks down the three-pointer. Stonehill looks good on their first possession. Let's go back to Markle. Shot clock winding down here. Create for yourself, kid. Behind the back, down the lane, and finish. Stonehill on top, 14-13. That's off Emilio missed three-pointer. Jack Cole cleans it up and dunks it with 2 hands. Caps an 11-2 Stonehill run that would lead to a 9-point cushion heading into the half. Second half now. Cole getting it done on the defensive end. Nowhere in his paint for JT Strickland. Great block from the sophomore. But Merrimack's tough. Let me introduce you to Mike Clifford. 6'7", 230 pounds, coast to coast, with the steal and the dunk. Clifford had himself a game, 26 points, 14 rebounds. We have Brian Hamer, and he can do this. With a team trailing by 5, 3:30 to play, steps into a 3-ball. That's a big one for the senior captain. You saw what Clifford can do. This is freshman Galvis Solano. This team trailing by 2, no problem, ties it up. Look at the agility in the lane, one-on-one isolation. And that leads to this final possession for the Skyhawks, all tied up at 56-56. Markle, nothing doing. Cole with the rebound. And Heyliger with the putback. I can't believe it. See for yourselves, folks. Did he get the shot off in time? It doesn't matter. The refs count it. Stonehill goes on to win 58-56 at home. An unbelievable win, catapulting the Skyhawks onto next week, where they will take on UMass Lowell in their next game. After dropping their last game in conference play, Stonehill Hockey was looking to rebound with a win over visiting Southern New Hampshire University. Their opportunity was delayed a full day by the storm, however, and that might have had an effect on this Skyhawks team. Stonehill was unable to get the win at home. Southern sweeps in and steals it 5-3. 2 early goals for the Penmen, and then 3 unanswered in the second. It was too deep of a deficit for the Skyhawks to overcome, though Dana Borges and Brian Rooney, they have excellent outings on the ice. Rooney with 2 goals and an assist. Borges racks up 3 more assists. Borges with his 86th career point for Stonehill in 97 games, climbing towards that 100 mark. He has 2 regular season games to do it and the playoffs. Indoor track and field was also heavily impacted by the storm last weekend, as their meet at Tufts University was postponed until Monday night. But that didn't stop the Skyhawks from turning out an excellent performance as usual. For the women, it was the medley relay team of Elizabeth La Regina, Maria Curate, Sarah Wilson, and Kristen Veet who posted a preliminary NCAA championship qualifying time, while standout freshman thrower Adrian Thornton took home her 4th top 3 finish of the winter season with her weight throw of 51 feet 5 3/4 inches. For the number 24 nationally ranked men's team, it was a business week as their medley relay team also provisionally qualified for the NCAA championships next month in Birmingham, Alabama. Dan Zawalik opened with the 1200-meter leg, followed by Sam Spencer in the 400-meter sprint, then Sean Hanlon in the 800-meter run, and finally Tim Johnson cleaning things up with the mile run. The Skyhawks placed second at the meet, and after running the conversion for a flat track, their time of 9 minutes 58 seconds, .8, ranks 8th nationally. Also worth noting, sophomore Daniel Cormier took first place in the shot put with his school record throw of 47 feet 3 3/4 inches. In large part, it was a tune-up for the Skyhawks as they set their sights on the Northeast 10 Conference Championships that are coming up this weekend. Well, folks, that just about wraps things up for this week's episode of Skyhawk Update. Be sure to come out and support our Skyhawks teams, especially tomorrow night. That's Wednesday night as the men's and women's basketball teams square off against UMass Lowell. Huge games for both those teams. For those on campus, you can catch us all week on Channel 9, and for those not on campus, you can easily find us on YouTube by searching Skyhawk Update. Folks, have a great rest of the week. Craig Riotto signing off. Go Skyhawks.